Okay, I think we're going to make a start now. Okay, so this session, I hope it doesn't get too boring for you. Everything I learnt actually is actually from working on projects with a lot of new customers. Actually, Stephen was one of my first Primo sites, and believe me, I've come a long way since then. And so is actually Primo as well. There's a lot of things that we've found in the early days of Primos. A lot of it's a lot better now. One of the things that came in was a few years ago was about blending. So this is one of the main topics we're going to be talking about in this session. Okay, so I'm actually going to be having a little bit of help. I didn't feel confident enough to be to do this on my own. So I actually, well, we're going to be talking about search and configuration, and then we're going to be doing blending shoulda, woulda, coulda. So anyone like to guess who my helper is?
Alan?
No.
Yes, he's the only other person.
No, I needed someone I could trust. So I know better than that. Okay. Okay, so we're going to start actually doing this slightly in reverse. We're going to sort of do the blending bits in reverse. So we're going to do the shoulda bit. So the idea of shoulda is that basically when you get results from Primo, your local search engine ranking scores are going to be lower than Primo Central, and this often means your result set's going to be absolutely swamped with Primo Central results, especially if people have got Wikipedia activated in Primo Central. Wikipedia tends to dominate first set of results.
Well, why would that be that PCI ones would be higher? Is it because they've got a lot more metadata in there that sort of matches a lot more?
Yes. Yeah. I know a lot of the resources have much better, because we've got the full text that we can actually run the search and the ranking against. So what we can do is basically we need to boost our local records. So this, we're going to look at different ways of doing it. So this is blending. So we're going to one of the main ways. We're going to look at other ways as well. So if you're also doing deep searching, I saw, I know some sites have got the EBSCO deep search. I don't know how many are actually using EBSCO deep searching anymore. Okay, so that EBSCO one you definitely need to deboost as well. Okay. So one of the other alternatives is we can actually start using scopes. So this you can actually get your users actually being more selective in their first choice of what are they going to be choosing. So this was actually a fairly recent Primo I've been working on that basically can choose everything, which is obviously Primo Central, in this case it's Alma as well. Articles is just going to be the Primo Central. Books is their actual books from Alma, and yeah, e-books and e-journals, there's their particular collections in there from Alma they've got in there. So this is one way you can actually help your users to actually get more relevant results. However, most users actually prefer the Google experience a search box and not pre-choosing anything. So this is where blending really comes in. So without it, we've got bananas and strawberries. Yeah. So you could have Alma and Primo Central. So that should be the other way around. So Primo Central, being bananas would tend to dominate everything, and your strawberries just getting squashed underneath your bananas. So what we can actually do is we can actually blend them up and to make a lovely smoothie, which we all need in this weather. So this means that you then get from results mixtures of from your library management system, and also coming down to get Primo Central results in as well. Okay, so we'll move on to CUDA. So thank you, Beverly. We've got basically search engine. We've got a local search engine, Primo Central, and every deep search we can actually adjust the search engine configuration. We can switch force blending on and off, and we can actually have a minimum rate for combining. So the minimum rate for combining is whether records with high, medium, or low ranking score should be boosted. So one of the things we can do, other things is combine the location. So this basically placement of the boosted record on the first page of results. So this is either going to be top, centre, or bottom. Okay, so I will actually point out at this point, you can never remove the whatever is the top result is always going to be the top result. Okay, so we're only looking at results 2 onwards. So we can actually choose whether, if we say top, top it will be 2, if we say centre it will be 5, bottom it will, I think, I'm not sure where it comes in, but it does depend how many results you have in your results screen first of all, that's typically 10. And how many results do you want to award? So we'll look at some examples in a moment. And then a constant factor is basically how number you're going to be added to the ranking score. So you can actually give a positive boost of 1, or you can actually deboost, so you can actually go 0 to 1. There is actually no, do not use 0. I'm not sure exactly why, but we always, there's other things are either positive or negative. So where do we actually make all these changes? These are actually in the Primo back office. So we'll have a look at some of these slides, and then I'll go through onto our demonstration system. So from the advanced configuration search engine, we'll look at some of these other options in a moment. There is this bit here on blending, right near the bottom. And so this basically means you get these options that I've just talked to you about for local search engines. You actually, if you wish to enforce any rules for this, you have to tick the force blending. Minimum hit rank, in this case was medium, and put the result at the top. And you're going to reward 5 results. As I said, this was based on the assumption there are 10 results on your page, so you're actually trying to get 50% of your results are going to be from your local data sources. So also, if you've got 2 search engines defined in the Primo installation, so this is the local search engine and also Primo Central, the recommendation is to set this only for the local search engine, because you've basically got two search engines, so you can actually only need to affect one. If you've got a third one, so for example if you have EBSCO or WorldCat deep searching, then you need to also work on changing it for a second one as well. So we can actually look at, because a local search engine normally would have things like medium, combine with location, top, results 5, and give these constant factor of 4. So these are boosting these records up. Yes?
Sorry to interrupt. Does this include records that derive through an OEI?
Yes, this is all your local data sources. So for you, this is ALMA, and then all your different repositories. Okay, so the local search engine is basically all your local data sources, and then you've got other ones like Primo Central, EBSCO, WorldCat.
And then to differentiate those local sources,
No.
that means everything
It's, yeah, you're affecting the entire search engine. I mean, there's other ways we're going to look at in a moment of boosting particular resource types or data sources as well. Okay, so yeah, if you've got more than 2 search engines, for example, local search engine, Primo Central, and then one more deep search, then we need to start bringing in different ones here. So we've got a local search engine configuration. We also have a configuration for EBSCO. So you can actually see the difference here. We're actually combining the location at the bottom and only reporting 3 out of the result, and we're actually giving these a constant factor of a very low percent, so 0.1 here. Same with WorldCat. Okay, so these are some recommendations.
Better tell us why constant factor 4.0, why that particular number? Is it just related to other numbers?
Okay, so the search engine configuration is normally up to a factor of 5.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, so basically you're giving a positive boost. I mean, you could, I think the maximum is 5 actually, but I'm not sure. So there's no set kind of rule, you just, you know, in relation to your other boosting.
Yes, yeah, basically.
Figures, basically.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually, it's not an exact science.
Yeah, yeah.
And you might actually, what we say is recommendations, you may wish to tweak anyway. Try to, during the implementation process, Primo, this is one of the things we encourage the institutions to work with, is to check, are they getting the mixture of Primo Central and their local data sources right. So actually put in a search engine configuration the other day and then got in touch with the site and said, can you please check this? And they come back and said, yeah, this is much better.
Okay.
So what I'm going to actually look at where this is on the back office. So this is actually good news. So this is actually for all of you Primo institutions, apart from total care institutions. Okay, total care institutions don't have access to this part of the Primo setup. So if you're a total care site, you need to put in a Salesforce request or contact your implementation team to do this. So for either local or multi-tenant, we have to go to advanced configuration, and we go to search engine configuration. Okay, so this one actually come out of the box. So out of the box, we'll just click on blending. We can actually see here, first of all, it just comes empty, so you just think something's wrong here, but you actually have to try and choose something down here, but there's no option, and that's because we've taken everything out of the box. We need to click on customize. So once we've customized, we can then go back to click on blending, and now we've got a pull down list here. We can actually see we've got a local search engine and a Primo Central set up on this Primo. So once you, for some odd reason, you have to go to choose the bottom one and then go back up to choose the top one. So we can see the top one here, we can now switch the force blending on and off. If we switch it off, the number of results per award becomes grayed out. So out of the box value here is, we're going to try and have a hit rank of high, and then we're going to put all the results up at the top, and result, give 3 results in here. So we can actually switch that to 5. I'm actually giving our local search engines out of the box a value of 2.0, and if we want, we can actually put that up to 4.0.
And then all we need to do is, if you really wanted to, you could go to Primo Central search engine. You can actually work on deboosting that if you really needed to. But if you, as I said to you earlier, if you've only got local search engine Primo Central, you should only really need to boost local. That should give you sufficient without having to deboost Primo Central. But you always have that option here to add it in. And if you, this list is actually populated. If you do set up a deep search adapter, for example, for EBSCO, it automatically, for your institution, it will appear in this drop-down list. So all you have to do to enforce this search engine is we actually have to save it. And then we have to do, go to our main page of the back office, we click on deploy live all, and all we have to do is choose the search engine configuration here. And that pushes our search engine configuration. So sometimes actually it will take a little while for you to get this. And it's actually a very, very difficult thing to show, so I'm not even going to attempt to show you the difference of before and after. But all I will say is you will notice the difference.
Does it take long to propagate the new changes through?
It should, once you've deployed it, once the deploy is finished, once you start a new Primo session, it should come into effect for your users at that point. Anything with starting a new session, particularly actually on the new user interface, is if you click on the library search or whatever you've changed it to, you have to click on that for a lot of these deploy issues to come out. Whereas before, sometimes things worked on the old interface without having to restart the session, but it just started appearing. But do recommend you start a new session. Okay, so this actually Primo is not going to be a very good one to show because there's Primo Central and there's only about 3,500 other records available, so we're not going to actually see a huge difference on this Primo. This is why we're still getting a lot of Primo Central results coming through. You'd have to find some particular search that you know you've got in. Yeah, so I'm just going to take a.
It should be fairly instantaneous effect.
Yeah, so actually we can actually see, I'll search for something here, we've got these are Primo Central as well. Yeah, so we're as I said, the main trouble with this Primo is I haven't got actually much local data on. I'm trying to think of what we did for you, Rob. Can I look at your Primo?
Yeah, sure.
For Leicester City Football. Okay, yeah, so obviously this is much more, this is actually a more blended result because you've got, this actually seems to be, yeah, you've got a lot of local results at the top here. And is this the sixth result? The sixth result is our first Primo Central result. So this is, so you want to try and encourage your users to actually know you've actually got a lot of good material in your library, especially if you've put your repositories into Primo as well. Okay, so any questions on the blending side of things?
So after that, when will it bring the local ones back in again? Is it after the 6th result? Or?
Okay. Just have a look at actually, strangely enough, unless the results actually worked out of the box. Okay, but I know a lot of Primos have actually adjusted the blending. For example, I know there's sites who have done this. Is there anyone from Bristol here? Yeah. I think you've got. You've done some changes to the section configuration.
So I just arrived.
Okay.
So where are we then?
Actually, I won't look there because I can't remember the login. Okay. Yeah. So basically, so Leicester haven't actually done the changes, but so these are the main changes here on so the advanced configuration, section configuration, and the blending. Okay, so there are a couple of other things I'm going to quickly show you before this session runs out. I started a bit late. Okay, so one of the other things you can actually do is to add a bit of a boost in the PNX record as well. And this actually is also really useful for display types as well, because some things won't have very much metadata. So even if they're all within the same data source, if they're all in ALMA, they're still not getting as much attention as you wish. So you can actually start writing, there's a PNX field ranking booster one, and you can actually write in rules. So say, for example, if the display type is archive, we can actually give them a positive rating of 1, because the out-of-the-box value is 0. So you can actually start boosting particular types of records. So, being normalization, you can run it on display type. You could actually run it on, do it for everything in a particular data source. So if one of your repositories, you can actually put in a constant rule to get that a higher value. Okay, so one other thing I want to show, because I do know we're actually going to be late for our break, is one of the things I just wanted to show in a training like this is to give some insider tips. So we can actually use the Primo X server. I don't know if many of you have ever gone onto this advanced section. Okay, I know Scott has. So each actual result, you can actually see the ranking on this. So you can actually then compare it to different records, different data sources, and so on. So in order for this to work, if you are on a multi-tenant Primo, you need to submit a Salesforce case to our support team with your IP in, and there's a particular mapping table it's called the WS and XS mapping table. So this actually opens up the X services to your IP. Because it's not, the X service is not available like the rest of Primo. So actually, so if you ever look at the excerpt, so
So as you can notice, it's actually a behind the scenes look of Primo. So here we go. You can actually see the, for example, this document ID has got this different ranking here. So you can actually change your search engine, your result set. So changing your different search to fish, for example, we actually got this document. This document here, you can actually see the ranking for this document here. So this is actually sort of an advanced feature if you wish to look at particular rankings of particular documents as well. And you can actually see why this result may be coming further down the results than you would wish.
Is this documented anywhere?
Yes, there is some ExLibris documentation. Might be on the developer's site, I think. Yeah, I won't look into that now.
Sorry, so just in case of adding something to your URL or go in Primo direct back office, can you, I didn't quite understand how you access.
Okay, right, if you go to the documentation, it gives you the syntax for this. So the basic syntax is your base URL, and then we have Primo Web Services, X-Service, search, brief, and then you have to put your institution code in there.
Okay, so it's understanding the string, that would work for direct and total care? Or?
This will work for total care as well. As long as you've actually, if you're total care, you've actually submitted the request for the IPs to be put into the mapping table. Because this is a firewall request. This is a particular part of Primo that needs to be opened up to you. So any other questions?
Just on the Excel, I can see the value of seeing the individual ranks of results. The idea is you go onto the Excel and do a search, and then you can look at the PNX and see the individual rankings of each item.
Yeah, so this, so yes, you can actually, so if we know a particular document ID, you can actually put in the document ID in there to get it, to look at its ranking. Because this actually doesn't actually come out as part of the PNX, this ranking. This is just, because it's an X-Service request, you get more detail back through.
Yeah.
So this is hidden Primo.
So you can do a search on the X server, or do you have to have the ID of the item?
You can, I mean, in this case we just did you can just do a query. It's basically a standard thing. Any contains fish, for example. Or you could put any contains and then you can put in your document ID. Or any search term.
To do that, you have to create the URL yourself as a search box.
You have to create the URL yourself.
Okay.
And I'm sure you could probably create a nice little widget yourself. Yes.
Can I just check my understanding on something? The other ranking algorithm going on in Primo is about personalisation.
Yes.
So a user indicates their subject areas on the discipline assignment. My understanding is there's nothing you can do about local collections to join that taxonomy and therefore be included in that ranking. Is that correct?
That is correct. It's Primo Central only, yes.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
That's why I actually I chose not to cover that. But yes, if you want to, there is more detail on the about or the ranking because it's yeah.
So it's obviously just quite a key limitation with that part. If we offer that personalisation facility to our users, then that ranking takes effect around our local collections, which are not affected by their choice.
No.
The PCI. So
Yeah, I think that actually addresses a particular problem with Primo Central personalisation. Because again, you get more problems with personalisation in Primo Central results than probably with your local data sources.
I was just imagining a possibility where you could group, in the normalization process, you could take something like a shelf mark or a class mark, assign a key that matched taxonomy, PCI.
It'd be lovely.
Yeah, the answer is no, that's fine.
I can go on ideas. But it's a nice idea.
Thank you.
How much do you find people like ask for something to be boosted and then change their mind? It just strikes me that wouldn't you get like, I don't know, special collections competing with people who pay for the e-resources? Like how do you?
That's why I like to only face a project manager. One face. And they can take the stresses of dealing with the different people. But it's something an institution has to make a collective decision amongst themselves. Are we going to boost everything or special collections? It depends also. Some universities for special collections have particular political value. So yeah, in those cases it is worth adding back boosting to the into the ranking section for the PNX.
So if you wanted one out of all your local repositories, if you wanted one to appear higher than the others, you would just boost the PNX for that record, that pipe and not the others.
Exactly, yeah. So that particularly goes to the normalisation set. I'll just quickly show you. Go to ranking and then booster one. Actually, this you actually just put in constant 4, for example. So that would boost everything from this particular that goes through this particular normalisation rule set.
But only to position 2, not 1 if there's a higher.
Yeah, but it gives it sort of a basic. It just gives the underlying boosting. To get it more up the search results, because you even sometimes find the repositories still, because the Dublin core data can be not much data in it at all. You can actually you need to push them up against something like a library catalogue, which obviously has a far richer, because you've got cataloguers who've populated every mark field possible.
Is it possible in any way to deboost results from PCI where the results are coming from the full text?
No.
You've no control over PCI, how PCI...
There's very little control over PCI.
It does cause all sorts of issues where something comes back and it looks completely irrelevant. And then on further investigation you find that the keywords are in the full text somewhere. Yeah. So this is going to be to do with the personalisation thing as well, so you're going to get it as well. The personalisation will actually, hopefully, will also help address that. You get more relevant results in the full text. Are there any other questions? Or should we